What is up, good people, and welcome to CrypTalk, the UGG podcast show where we talk about the NFT gaming scene. I am your host, Jay Perillo, and joining me is my co-host and my brother from another mother, Rob Luna. And how are you, bro?
I'm all good. I'm really excited for today's episode since we're going to be talking about NFT, specifically games on the crypto
Yes.
space.
That is right. Well, I saw that you recently just went to the beach, man. I envy you. Seriously, I envy you. I've seen the posts, I've seen the tweets, and all I can say is that sana all.
Yeah, actually, no, it was a long time coming. We were actually wanted to go to the beach way back December. But the only thing is, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but we went to Anawangin Cove and I can't stop looking at the
Oh my god.
prices. Maybe this is the thing that NFTs did to us. That like sometimes you
Uh-huh.
have to look how much was the AXS right now, how much was the SLP right now, and yeah, maybe it's part of us.
Well, yeah, actually, you know what? I think we'll be talking more about that
Mm,
later on. See, that's one of the good thing, I guess we could call it a good thing about the lessons that we've learned or the habits that we've gotten from NFT, right? We are now conscious with our spending, right? With how we manage our funds. We now have a little bit extra consciousness about it, right?
yes, and definitely, you just have to be very. I would say you need to study about it because
Mhm.
if you actually went too deep, it's actually gonna affect you mentally. Like I know a few friends that have been. I was actually looking at the prices probably every hour or every
Mhm.
day at least, but some people just simply look 1 minute. Then right after 5 minutes, just gonna look again, and I don't
Right,
believe
right.
that it's gonna change that drastically in a short span of time.
Right. These are the people that looks at the chart on a minute basis because you can change that, right? 1 minute, an hour, 4 hours, 15 days, or
Yeah.
something like that. These are the peeps that look at it on a minute basis, right?
Yes, definitely. And you know what? I mean, I mentioned SLP, I mentioned AXS, but there are tons of games right now, Jay. And I
Yes.
believe you've been playing for you have a Pegaxi, if I'm not mistaken, or
Yeah,
any
yeah.
other games that you have played recently.
Well, there are a lot of games, but recently it's just the usual games that we see online. But I'm eyeing a couple of games here and there, upcoming games, and hopefully we'll be able to bag a whitelist spot from these said games because I think those games could be the next big thing. Well, the market lately has been unpredictable, right? The movement that we're seeing from the charts, it's actually a different level of uncertainty. But that being said, there is also a lot of good news, well, at least for me, in terms of crypto games lately. So now that we've been around the space for quite some time and we've seen and experienced a lot of things, it's a legit roller coaster ride of emotions. You know this, Rob, right?
Yes, definitely.
and
Again, we actually came on the time that it was a bull market, so we are
mhm,
experiencing the bear right now. And I believe in order for you to fully have the experience of the crypto, is you have to have both of the sides. You
right.
whenever it's a bull market and a bear market, for you to be able to know when to position yourself, which game is gonna last that long. And I believe we have the games that we've been playing right now that's been surviving up until this point.
Oh, yes. And actually, I am so excited because that is what we'll be talking about for this episode, the pros and cons of
Mhm.
investing in crypto games. So, first, I would like to know from you, Rob, know what are the examples of popular games or crypto popular games for you?
Well, that's gonna be the number one crypto game right now. It's gonna be Axie Infinity, and I
Mhm.
believe 90% of the people who went, including me. I'm not sure with you, Jay, but hopefully
Mhm.
we all jump into the bandwagon of Axie Infinity
Yeah.
way back June and July 2021. We've seen
Mhm.
it grow from like the AXS. It came to the space that AXS was just around $10, and it
Mhm.
went up to the ATH like 120. Then it went down right now. I believe it's on $50 or so. So it's really up and down. And yeah, well,
Uh-huh.
Axie Infinity recently they have the V3 that they call the Origin, and
Yeah.
in terms of probably in popularity here in the Philippines, probably Pegaxi is gonna be the second, and there are gonna be a couple of games that are being played on a daily basis, like Cyball. But I would say 90% or even higher that all are plays Axie Infinity.
Yep, that is right. I agree with what you've said there regarding the popularity of Axie
Mhm.
Infinity and Pegaxi in the Philippines. And you mentioned this one game, Cyball. Were you able to get in the game?
I would want to try, but when I saw the floor prize was like the best, I believe that the tune or the character that you had to buy was like somewhere around 70-ish thousand
Mhm.
peso to be able to get somewhere epic to legendary types of character. And well, if I'm Jay
Yeah, yeah.
Perillium, probably I could have jumped in, but this is just Rob Luna, so nah, I can't be able to jump in. But I was looking at some streamers like RMZ who's been playing it. I believe it's fun. I believe it's fun,
All
and
right.
I've been looking into a few games like Cypher, Guild of Guardians, and yeah, I want to try myself to jump into those games sometime probably next week.
Oh wow, sometime next week. Well, actually, the reason why I asked that is because I am in the same boat as you are. At
Mhm.
first, I was really interested to try and jump in, but the thing is, I don't know if you subscribe to this thought, but the moment that you see news or hype trains regarding a specific NFT games in the social media, for me, I guess that is the signal for me to know that it's too late for me
Yeah.
to jump in,
Yeah, I
right?
believe. I believe that's already too late. And even just simply looking at the coin, it already jumped not just by 20, probably 100%. If there's probably a game that I would really look into right now, I'm not sure if you're
Mhm.
familiar with this. It's Jewel Kingdom, something like that. It's like a DeFi game that we're in,
Mhm.
just a pixel how the 2D pixel game, a browser game rather. And what you can do within the game is that you can actually stake your coins. And I mean, there are
Oh.
games that you could be able to do that, but this one has a better liquidity. And like for
Mhm.
example, you have on AXS, you can pair it with AXS as well. So there is no impermanent loss within it.
Well,
So
that's right. Yeah, that's nice.
that is something that most people didn't know about, and probably
Uh-huh.
some people doesn't even know. They really thought, like for example, people just with SLP right now, they look at it like, oh, it's 1 peso for one SLP. I'm gonna be holding it once it gets to 2 pesos, and if it happens, they sell. That's the basic
Uh-huh.
thing that you do with your coins, right? But
Yeah.
with this one, you buy it and you stake it, and once it goes up, you earn twice because you have those airdrops that comes along with it, and you actually
Oh
get
wow.
double.
Oh wow. Wow, that is very interesting. Well, you've mentioned that they have this mining type of
Yes,
earning revenue, right? Well,
indeed.
it's the same thing as this one game. It's called a Binary X.
Mm.
They were very popular like a few months ago. The prices skyrocketed, and then it dumped really hard. But the good thing about it is, I wasn't really expecting this. Okay, I wasn't expecting this, but they were able to recover from that market, and they are now in the space of setting a new all-time high. So if you're interested in that, they have a mining part of the game
Mhm.
where you get where you just put your it's like staking, but with NFT games you get NFT characters, right? So with this one you get your NFT characters and you put it there in the mining section where you get gold, or it's like their
Wow.
SLP. Yeah, you get gold for a specific amount of time, and I believe there is an upcoming video about it from Jay Perillo soon.
Oh, I believe that guy is handsome, right?
Well, I'm not really sure about that, but well, moving on. Of course, a lot of people will be interested in the NFT scene given its popularity right now. Everybody wants to jump in because some might look at it as a get rich quick uh opportunity for everybody, right? But that will not be the case most of the time. So, in your opinion, how can a person invest in crypto games?
Oh, well, you actually did mention it earlier that whenever you see news, whenever you see people,
Mhm.
a lot of it, like probably on the Twitter space, that been tweeting it every time, posting it every time, and that's gonna be a red flag for you because the game has already launched. So
Right.
probably number one is, if you really want to get into a game, you have to learn how to read a white paper. Well, that can be subjective, but
Mhm.
what I'm trying to say is that you have to get into the game before it actually gets popular. So
Right.
these are probably crypto 101 that I've learned recently, because like for example, my AXS tokens did actually went up. Like I bought it like in
Mhm.
$40, it went up 70, then I sell it. Then the
Mhm.
profit that I get from it is just I simply put small amounts. Like I'm not sure what's the English of sungka, but what I'm trying to say is you put small amounts into games. Like for example, you put
Mhm.
like 5,000 in this new game, 5,000 in this new game. Probably you get to have like 50,000, like 10 games,
Yeah.
and one of them will surely go up. So
Right. Right.
that's how I learn from people who's been on the space
Yeah.
longer than I am. Like they've been on the space like 2017, 2016. They simply put small amounts, because whatever
Right. Right.
happens, as long as if you actually did your research and read the white paper and it looks good and you know it's gonna be good, one way or
Mhm.
another, those 5,000 will simply go up. I mean, like what? Like 10 times. You just have to have one coin that goes 10x and you actually get to pay everything, right? So
Right.
that's how you, I believe, diverse, make your portfolio a very diversified. And secondly, I would say a game that is, for me, if it can be able to go into like esports,
Mhm. Mhm.
it's a green flag for me, because like for
Wow. Yeah.
example, Axie Infinity doesn't really matter if the SLP goes way down 50 cents. Like we do have the tournament from the UGG, Axie
Right.
Pro. We already on season 2, going into season
Mhm.
3 soon. So those were games, like people were gonna play with it regardless of how much you get, and that's actually a good sign. But
Mhm.
if you're wanting to get into a game, just like simply try it out, I wouldn't encourage you to jump all in. Some people does that because just and simply hold and pray, and hopefully this gets me there. Yeah, I've been there and done that, and most of the time it's the best case scenario was break even, and worst is
Mhm.
you're gonna have to cut loss like
Yeah.
50%, 40% of how much you put it in, and
Yeah.
it hurts if you do it consistently.
Yeah, that's very painful. And I like the thought that you've shared with us right now, that you just plant your seeds and
Hmm.
wait for one to become a tree, right? But not everything will become a tree. That is a perfect analogy with what we're
Hmm.
doing here in the crypto space right now. But for me, like what you've said, so before we invest on a specific crypto game, I think it's very important that we do your own research. All right, aside from reading what Rob mentioned, the game's white paper, you can actually use the available resources like on YouTube or on other platforms that will help you understand what you're getting into. This way, you won't be acting out on impulse, or you won't get FOMO'd, right? But you'll be
Yes.
making an informed decision.
There's
Now,
also there's also one thing
mhm,
before I just want to butt this in, because I believe in UGG we already have this website, right? So this is actually a
right.
good sign if you're gonna be jumping in with people like UGG is a DAO. Don't get me wrong,
Mhm,
and these were the people who actually read and research beforehand the games that they actually
right.
publish. So
Mhm,
if those games were been having a good review on those
mhm,
DAOs, like on the UGG website, then that's gonna be a good opportunity for you to try it out. Then probably read along the lines. I mean, when you get to have this game, you read it on the website, then you do
mhm,
your own research, because doing your own research is like it's so big. I mean,
mhm,
there's a lot
mhm.
of people gonna tell you this is not financial advice, do your own research, but how do you
Right.
actually do your research? And
Mhm.
that is something that most people don't do your research. Well, how do I actually research it? What kind of
Yeah.
research? What are the things that I have to research? And
Mhm.
those were probably that's where you go into YouTube and try to check. There's gonna be a checklist of things that you need to know in order for you to validate that this game is gonna work. And one of them
Right.
is, of course, being posted by the DAOs. For example, the UGG website.
Right, right, right. It's actually a collation of
Mm,
everything that you need right there in front of you, right? So don't forget to check out ugg.com, all right?
mm.
Or
Yeah.
unitedgamersguild.com. Now, moving on, we've already talked about how you guys will get into the crypto space or in a specific NFT scene. But with that, of course, comes risks, right? So for me, the biggest risk when investing on crypto or in NFT games is of course connected to your funds, since this is going to be your ticket to the game. Next will be your time, because you will be spending a lot of it. And it's not just playing the game, right, Rob? Because like what you've mentioned earlier, you will be looking at the charts all the time. So time is really one of your investments in terms of crypto or NFT games. How about you, Rob? What are the big risks that are involved when investing in NFT games?
Well, in terms of risk, is that if you're gonna be using funds that you're not willing to lose. I mean, that
Mhm,
is something like most financial advice is gonna tell. Financial advice is gonna tell you, like, you don't
mhm,
invest the money that you're not willing to lose. Like for example, you loan money, and of course, when you loan
mhm,
money into the bank, you're gonna put it into a certain coin, and that coin went down, but the payment that's going to go to the bank will not change, and it has interest.
right,
Those were
right.
not the things that you would want to do unless you're
Mhm,
literally YOLO'd it, or probably have your house, sell your house or whatever, you try to pawn it, or your car.
mhm,
Those were the things that you don't want to do, because it's gonna
mhm,
affect you mentally. That's one of the reasons why people look in the charts, or rather on the prices, every single time, because they
mhm,
were praying that their money doesn't get lost along with it. So for me, I would say that I've learned it the hard way, because what I did was I put my those were that was my talent fee way back 2021, and I simply put
mhm.
it into a game. I'm not gonna tell it's Crypto Blades, but it looks like Crypto Blades, and there, Crypto Blades just simply
Oh my god.
hacked the way of my talent fee on my shoutcasting. And
Oh, geez Louise.
it's not is I mean, I would say that's charged experience, a
Mhm,
hard, rather a bitter fruit they had to swallow. But I guess you wouldn't say, probably just like a simple waiter, you cannot be able to tell yourself you're a good waiter if you haven't broken any glass or any
mhm,
uh plates at all. So that's for me. I lost not a ton, but I believe it's big. And yeah, right from there, and then I've been very cautious.
mhm,
Probably you just have to what I can say is that you have to learn how to manage your risk. Like for
right.
example, you put like 100 or 1,000 pesos,
Mhm,
and you're not willing to lose everything. If you're gonna be doing, like, some people do trades, right? So
mhm,
whenever
mhm,
you put your 1,000 pesos and it went up, learn to
mhm,
put it away. I mean, learn to hold it, because in crypto, the only thing that you can say that you are working, it's not how much you make, it's how
mhm.
much you can keep,
Yeah,
and you can
that's right.
only do that if you manage your risk. So yeah, that's for me.
Well, Diamond Hands is the way indeed. I agree with that. I
Yeah.
agree with that. Diamond Hands is the way. But for those of you who are interested in on entering the
Mhm.
crypto or the NFT gaming scene, it doesn't. A lot of people will get discouraged once they get to know the amount that they need to start. But here's the thing, guys. There is a beautiful thing called scholarship. All right.
Yes.
This is one of your ticket. If you don't have that disposable fund, or if you don't have the what Rob mentioned, the funds that you can afford to lose, well, you just go into a scholarship, all right? Save up from there for you to be able to get your own units or your own NFTs, and then start from there. That
Yeah.
way, even if you lose, you don't really lose your money. Well, you
Mhm.
lose your time. That's it, right? So it's less risk. Less risk.
Yeah, well, a lot of people actually just simply go and, like, into a scholarship. Probably started with X
Mhm.
Infinity, then
Right.
they just save enough SLPs, they sell it, they buy their own, and now they have their own team coming from the hard work that they did from that
Right.
scholarship. And this is one of the things that I really love on Web3 games, on
Mhm.
the crypto games, because this kind of some, if you actually have enough, like for example, you're going to be the manager, you're going to be having
Mhm.
scholarships, right? You're not actually simply just buying those NFTs and those scholarships, you're actually buying time. And
Mhm.
I can say is that if you know what you're actually doing, you can be able to get your ROI in the quickest time possible. And I mean, if just right after that, then probably you can try other games or probably get
Mhm.
more scholarship, because most of the people right now, like I do know the people that like 100 scholars, and they like get passive somewhere around like 50
Yeah.
every out or something like that. But
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Jay have a lot of scholarship, and you can tell me how does that actually work, because for me in X Infinity I just like have 10 scholars, and not everyone has like 60 energy. Some of them just are simply 40. But how about you,
Mhm.
Jay? How was the scholarship working for you right now?
Scholarship are working great for me for both Axie and PegXC because here's the thing, guys. When the token dipped, I did not see that as a red flag for me because I believe in the game. I
Mm-hmm.
saw that as an opportunity for me to expand. So that's what I did. I have expanded to a point. I think it's safe to say that even if the current price of of these tokens right now dumps a little bit more, I'll be good.
That's one
Yeah.
thing, right? If you
Yeah.
actually believe in the game, it doesn't really matter if it's go up and down, right? Because
Mhm.
I would say that in order for there has to be a thing with you that you'll be able to feel if you could be able to jump into Web3 games 100% of the time. Like for
Right.
example, us, you and me, Jay, we have like our side jobs. For
Mhm.
you, you did hosting, you were doing videos, and just like me. So I would say to people like if you are a you are actually working right now. You're actually earning money from like a traditional job, and that's great
Mhm.
because you
Mhm.
could be able to put some of it into the games, and just like
Mhm.
Jay mentioned, you can have scholars. And if you
Mhm.
find this market is literally down, you just simply look at the chart. You don't have to be
Mhm.
a technical analyst to be able to know that
Mhm.
the price is down, because you just have to look at the chart. That's what it's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
very on the bottom, and it's a good
Mhm.
opportunity. And if I'd say when people are actually fearful on the market, this is the best time to go in. It's not you
Mhm.
don't go in when it's high, when everyone is just
Right.
simply telling you we're going into the moon and we're getting
Mhm.
money, tons of money, because that's the time that you want to hold off, or unless you do shorts on the market, and then probably just simply hold it on and wait for it to dip, because
Yeah.
there's no such thing as on the crypto. There's just even as volatile as it is in the on the crypto space. Whenever
Uh-huh.
it goes down, there always gonna be a time that it has to go down, because there's no way it's gonna just simply go up and up. Like for Bitcoin from
Mhm.
30,000 going to 100 and going to a million, there's no such thing. Probably we're not even alive if it goes a million. But
Right.
I'm not sure. But that's how I see it. If you as someone who is gonna be watching this episode, look for the best opportunity for you to get in, and don't get
Right.
FOMO'd in. That's
Right. Right. Yeah, they always say this is I'm not really sure if it's
mhm.
Warren Buffett, but I
Oh,
think it's Warren Buffett. But what he said was you should be greedy when everybody is fearful, and you should be fearful when everybody is greedy. So you take that and do it what you will, but that is actually what I did. So for me, that's why I was able to expand my what do you call that? My
portfolio or
not really
your
the portfolio, my scholarships or the number of NFTs that I have
mhm.
includes this includes Axie Infinity, PegXC, and other NFT things that I do because I tried dipping my toes into NFT art lately. And
Oh,
the reason why I laughed when you mentioned the moon, like let's go to the moon, to the moon. Guys, for those of you watching, if you are not familiar with the crypto scene, this phrase, go to the moon or to the moon, is the biggest clickbait of the crypto scene. All right? So be
yeah,
careful whenever
yeah.
you see that. Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
So,
I agree. I agree. Usually, I
uh-huh.
click whenever I look at the YouTube, because I've been subscribed with most of the top channels, and that's usually their thumbnail. Go to the moon. How many percent on their PNL, and
Yeah.
yeah.
Right. Well, you know what? There are a lot of stories that I've read online about people being able to change their life with crypto or NFT games. You know, some were able to get a car, and some were very lucky to be able to get their, let's say, dream house, right? With
Mhm.
extra funds to sustain themselves. See, I use the term lucky. I use the term lucky instead of strategic or smart, right? Don't get me
Mhm.
wrong, because you could get good returns by being strategic and smart in this space. But if you want that huge returns, aside from being super active within the game's community, you also have to be there from the start and be lucky enough to secure a spot on their white list. All right. For those who are unaware, whitelist is a group of selected people who'll get first dibs on investing in a specific game with discounts and other perks. Now, for me, I was able to experience a certain level of success with Pegaxy because Pega allowed me to get my legit first big payout in the crypto game scene. And even with everything that's going on in there with their economy lately, you can still gain a healthy sum with their game as long as you were, this time the strategic part or the smart part will come in, because when it dipped, if you see that as a signal for you to get out, then you paper handed your investment. All right.
Mhm.
But if you saw that as an opportunity for you to grow or expand like I did, I think you'll be in good hands. Again, this is not a financial advice. We are just sharing with you guys our experiences with these said games. Now, how about you, Rob? What are your success stories in terms of investing on crypto games?
Well, just simply like almost the same as you, but mostly on the Axie Infinity ecosystem. Since like what you mentioned, when the teams went down. I mean, I believe way back February, I have like an extra amount of because I was actually breeding from start probably from December to January. I'm actually breeding god reptiles. Those were the reptiles. So like I had like I believe 30 to 40-ish eggs in total. I have breed 40 and I've sold them all. So what I did was I simply bought in yo oh I see. Okay.
Takot ako. I thought it was my connection.
Alright. All goods. All right. All right. So all right. We have this, or I rather have this during January, early January, going into late Feb. I was actually breeding. That was for season 20 of Axie Infinity. So I have like a total of 30 to 40 ish of reptiles, and I sold it. So this is what I did was when I sold it, Axie, the floor axis went actually down to a merely like from probably like from $30 went down to like $10, then up to 15. Then I bought tons of it. I don't have like so many scholars like most people do, like 50, 100, or even 1,000 for those DAOs.
Wow.
But for me, I just simply have like 12. But what I did was like the reason why I had the story of the reptiles, or the sold during my breed, is because I bought the floor axis, and those axes I put it into all my scholars. So most of my scholars right now is like the minimum was 40 energy, and most of them were 60 energies. And I don't have a lot, but that's the investment that I did going deep into Axie Infinity. And it's actually paying out right now, regardless of the SLP is less than a peso right now. I mean, I would say that it's going to be continuing to accumulate those SLP regardless how much it will go down, because at some
Right.
point, like for example, like right now we have the origin and it's up, and when the time that we actually have to breed, because most people are just simply trying the origin right now, they're not even breeding because it's gonna get changed because we're on the alpha test. But when the
Right.
moment or the time comes that season 1 of origin, people will start to breed, and those SLP that I farmed probably late this March, up until that time I'm looking into like around late May for the season 1 of origin, then probably that's gonna be the best thing that's gonna happen to me, I believe.
Right.
Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully, let's wait for that moment where we go to what we've mentioned, to the moon.
Mhm.
We're all waiting for that. I'm sure we're all waiting for
But
that.
but
Well,
you know
truth.
you know what? I
Mhm.
remember you mentioned earlier regarding to like you dip your toes into NFTs. I believe there
Yeah.
were games. These were the JPEG, right? The JPEGs that you actually
Yeah,
get
yeah, yeah.
from
NFT
the
arts,
open.
yeah.
Yes, yes. But I do
Yeah.
believe there are games that you actually get to buy like an open sea and you simply get to play it, right?
Yeah, yeah. There are some that I think this happens when the game doesn't have their own marketplace yet. They try
Mm,
and do their listings on OpenSea for the users to be able to change or to send and receive their NFTs. But I'm not sure if there are a lot of games that does it, because the games that I've encountered, if you do this, there is a chance for you to get banned. I don't know why,
oh,
but yeah.
all
I'm
right.
not really sure why. Well, truth be told, Rob, I have and to our viewers, I have a lot of sleeping assets because the market crashed and all, and I haven't really considered them as a loss yet. All right, because like what we say, you only lose if you sell. That is
Mhm.
what we do here in crypto. But there's this one popular NFT game that I invested on, and the hype that it generated before was significant. You know, its launch and their Discord server and the Telegram group really exploded with members. So it was a very healthy thing for the game, and it reflected on their chart as well. Now, let's go to launch day. All right, their launch
Mhm.
day. Geez, this is where everything started. Uh, one, they changed a lot of major things in the game with the intent of having more people in. So, in my opinion, I think they got greedy on this one. And two, they chose to be silent during the time when the people are starting to feel angsty. And that is a big no-no if you are a part of the core team or a developer of the game. So obviously it will reflect on the prices, right? Now, a lot of FUDs started to happen, and it even reached a point where threats, like legit threats to the developers, are coming in on a daily basis. And I think it finally got to the devs. So they tried to explain their side and is now trying to recover from the said damages. You know, I still have my investment with them, but I guess the biggest challenge that they have to overcome right now is gaining the trust of their community back, because once you lose that, it's going to be very hard for you to get it back. And that is the first thing that you need. If you're a developer, you need your community to trust you, or else you won't be able to strive. So this game, I'm not really sure if, all right, I won't say the name, but it's Space Crypto.
Oh, all right, all right.
Right. Well,
I,
you've mentioned earlier about crypto blades, so I'm sure you also have like failed stories or haunted stories
mhm.
in terms of crypto or NFT games, right, Rob?
Definitely, definitely, and I like you mentioned regarding that. What I can say is that I'm pretty sure that most people knew what happened with the Ronin network for the Axie
Mhm,
Infinity,
mhm.
the Katana. This is something that were most of the treasury. I'm not sure if most, but it's going up to 600 million actually gets lost on the
Right.
Ronin bridge. This is the Ronin blockchain that's being used by Axie Infinity. And
Mhm,
even with the number one game, they have these kinds of flaws. And
mhm.
going back to our previous topic, what are the things that you want to look at into a game is probably if you get to find a game that could be able to withstand this kind of situation, that's a 600 million, and most companies could actually drown from that loss. And Axie Infinity did open their blockchain in a week because
Mhm.
there's a lot of not only people but companies that been trust who actually trust the game, like just they partnered with Binance,
Right.
Animoca brands. There's so
Mhm,
many, and I'm not gonna discuss how it happened, what are gonna be the remedies, but
mhm,
what's the thing is that 600 million and all the money from the users that's have been hacked, they were gonna be reimbursing it, and
mhm,
that's
mhm.
usually a good sign. And
Right.
this is sometimes, like you mentioned, the developers of the game that you mentioned was like they're getting threats and whatnot, probably
Mhm,
on
mhm.
the whales that actually invested on the game and they just simply lost most of their money. Is that
Right.
this is something very new, and not only to me, probably into everyone, because this is in Web3 games. This is the games that being I wouldn't say manipulated, but it goes around the economy. I mean the people, the community with it. Because
Right.
if the community is happy, the game is prosper. I mean it's actually
Uh,
getting up, right?
uh-huh.
But when the community is not satisfied, and
Mhm.
usually the game does go down, and that's what happened to Axie Infinity on the time that it went down, because the prices
Right.
definitely almost not depleted, but it went down for like 20 to 30%, and just
Mhm.
simply a week they recovered. All right,
Right.
so I would say you have to look on those companies that's working that way, because
Mhm.
community is number one on the Web3 space. It could hurt the developer. Like for example, in Axie Infinity right now, there were people that was very dissatisfied. It just simply happened like last night, because they had
Mhm.
this update regarding the land, and
Mhm.
uh, there were people that have lands, or those NFT lands have been having like for more than a year, and that doesn't
Right.
have
Right.
doesn't have any utility at all. It's like
Mhm.
you're having an NFT that doesn't earn anything. And
Right.
the update last night is that the land wouldn't have any update up until the end of the year. It's like, what
Ooh.
I'm gonna do with my land? And
Right.
that's the reason it depreciated so much. And
Yeah.
people are starting. I mean, the community are starting to have the distrust. I mean, just right
Mhm.
after the hack that happened, then we got
Right.
this not so good update. And
Right.
yeah, I mean there's so much to happen on the space, as like for example on Axie Infinity. So I don't know what will happen on the future, but this
Mhm.
is something that goes with the community. And what I like on the side of on the rather the people who run like Jiho, they've been very they listen to
Mhm.
the
Mhm.
people who are talking about their game. And this is
Right.
something that we don't get on traditional games. Like for example,
Mhm.
a game that we used to play, like for example Dota, like doesn't
Yeah.
really matter how much we put it into the internet, like into Reddit or whatnot, but the developer was gonna be the one who has the last say. But on Web3,
Right.
everyone has a say, and this is
Right. Right.
something very new to most people.
Yeah, that is right. That's the beauty of a DAO, right?
Mhm.
The voting capability of their investors will be there, so we are sure to be heard or to get heard, right? Well, as we've mentioned earlier, Dior is the key, good people. All right, Dior, do your own research to make informed decisions, and you should never succumb to FOMO or fear of missing out. And as usual, this will be drilled to your heads or to your brains constantly whenever everybody or anybody will be talking about NFT or crypto games. All right,
Mhm.
invest what you can afford to lose. Now, for you, Rob, how can investors get prepared in terms of crypto games?
Those were investors that are gonna be going big, right? So
Yeah.
of course, if you were really gonna put into a certain project, if it's gonna be a new one, first things first is look, we've already mentioned this earlier. You need to know how to read the white paper.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, you need to know which are the brands that goes along with it. If those
Right.
brands, like for example, you see this game that's being backed by Binance, those are
Mm-hmm.
big brands that already there. Of course, the DAOs that were already out there, then that's usually a good sign. Then
Right.
secondly is that if definitely if you're an investor, you are someone that goes to a game and you're willing to wait for like months, not just
Right.
simply days, right? It's just like a simple flip, like you put 1 million, then next week you put it out because you already earn like
Yeah.
well, probably if you get to twice the money that you have, then
Yeah. Yeah.
it's a good option to take the profit and wait it to go down. But
That's
if you
true.
actually going into a game that's merely haven't launched yet,
Mm-hmm.
rather or you actually get into whitelisting, private sales, you
Mm-hmm.
actually get to buy the coins, and most more often than not, rather, is that your money will get locked for like quite some time. Like I have this game, I put in like $1,000, and
Mm-hmm.
it's locked for like 3 months. So most of the time you get to buy, that's what most investors have to look at. You have to go into games. Number one is that if you actually believe into the game, you read the white paper, you look for airdrops, private sale, because those were the things that you can get more on your investment, and be prepared to wait for it for a longer periods of time. Like most of
Right.
the games right now on Web3, I would say that they're on their infancy stage. Like
Mhm.
we've seen like last year, we've seen already Illuvium games that it looks like team fight tactics, and it's really good. And even I believe Illuvium
Mhm.
has the best graphics right now if you can be able to play it.
Yeah.
But it takes some time to be able to get your investment from that game, because it was actually $1,000 way back 2021. Then it's merely
Mhm.
50% down. So if you actually went into the game on that certain amount, more often than not, that you haven't put out your investment yet, because you're literally down like a 50%. So if you're going to be
Mhm.
investing, make sure the money that you're going to be putting in is going to take you long, or order it's gonna take you more time to be able to get the most out of it. Well, if you got lucky, like for example in Axie Infinity, you actually went
Mhm.
in like probably early 2021, like January, February, we're in AXS as just merely $5, and you
Mhm.
bought in like probably even just 100,000. You like have I've seen this. This is a popular Facebook which actually sells cryptocurrencies. What they did was they have like 5,000 AXS. I'm not really sure how they get that kind of amount, which
Uh-huh.
by the way, it's 11 million right now. So
Right.
what they were, it was actually on staking, and the staking APR for AXS right now is 77%. That only goes
Mhm.
to show that on the 11 million that they have, from the from how much was AXS right now is like merely $50. So they have like a
Right.
5,000. So they have like 11 million in peso if you
Uh-huh.
convert it. So they get around, I would say, if I remember it correctly, that's like 15 AXS per day.
Right.
And that's like what, almost 50,000 per day. So if you're
Yeah.
an investor and you have that kind of money, you just have to buy it on the low. Look for a way. You have, if you have to watch videos, there are tons of videos wherein you can learn how to stake, learn how to get. I mean, the interest on that kind of amount is so huge, and there's so many coins that you could be able to do that. Like for example, Terra Luna, yeah,
Mhm.
of course, AXS from Axie Infinity. Then from there, you just have to simply harvest those things, and probably you can compound it if you want. But
Right.
man, you're getting $50,000 on that amount. I mean, they are doing that, and that's
Yeah.
for me. To be honest with you, Jay, that was my end game. What I do
Uh-huh.
is I would want to have, but not on coins, probably on stable coins, because
Yeah.
if you get into
You
stable
want it to
coin,
become your passive income, right?
yes, I want it to
Uh-huh.
be a passive income, and the income probably whenever I get those the return, or rather the
Mhm.
one that I gain, probably I compound it, or those were the things that I could somehow gamble a little bit, because it's free money, right?
Right,
Like
right.
if you get like a 10,000 from the stake that you have, even you
Mhm.
don't then literally lose your money's still there. It's just simply
Right.
mining it for you, and those
Mhm.
the things that you get, you could probably try it on a little bit riskier coins.
Right, right.
And yeah, I just simply has to circulate it. But yeah, just the bottom line, it there were tons of things that you could be able to do specifically on NFT games. If you could be able to jump in as early as you can, and that is the
Mhm.
best investment that you can do. And of course, you need to learn how to research. That's, I
Right.
believe that that is something that you have to put in yourself into. If you're going to be
Yes,
investing
yes.
specifically hard-earned money and it's big, you need to, you put in the time to educate yourself, because
Mhm.
this is a volatile market. Anything can happen. From
Mhm.
$100 goes to zero. It could happen if you don't do your research.
Right. You have to live and breathe
Mm-hmm.
that thing. All right, research, and that is actually true. And I agree with what Rob said. The moment that you start earning, or the moment that you get your quote unquote passive income, you have to learn how to diversify your portfolio as well, because that way you'll just expand your earning capability. I mean, imagine that. What was that? What were they getting on a daily basis? Like 15? 15
Almost,
AXS?
yeah, 15 AXS on a daily
15
basis.
AXS on the APR right now. Let's not forget the fact that a few months ago, the APR of AXS staking was around 200%. So imagine what they were getting back then, right? So
Mm-hmm.
that is something that everybody should consider, because the moment that you get into the NFT gaming scene or the crypto scene, you are not just limited to trading or playing the game. You know, you can do a lot of things with your investment for you to earn. That's why, like what Rob said, you just have to research, because you'll be discovering a lot of good things by doing that on a specific NFT game. Now, with everything, like with everything in life, if an industry becomes prosperous, or it starts gaining traction, it gets more popular, scammers will always be there, right? They will be there no matter what. You're selling bikes, there will be bike scammers. You're selling, I don't know, there will be, I don't know, scammers. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
everywhere you go, scammers will be everywhere. All right, scammers will be everywhere. So with scams in the crypto scene or the NFT game scene, there are a surefire way, the surefire way of you getting your assets secured is to keep your seed phrase safe. Seriously, because even if you have a hardware wallet, the moment that some gremlin gets a hold of your seed phrase, then you can say goodbye to those sweet asset of yours. So make sure to keep your seed phrase safe, right? So how about you, Rob? Do you have any tips on how our viewers right now could avoid getting scammed?
Oh, well, number one, if that's gonna be something, I was actually gonna get it. So this is a hard wallet. This is Trezor. So if you're gonna be going in, or at least want to try, you would want to yourself to invest on hard wallet. This is a Trezor. This is a Ledger Nano X. So this is, by the way, this is not this is not sponsored, but I do have two hard
It
wallets
could
because
be
this.
though. Hello, Trezor. Hello, Ledger. It could
Yeah.
be sponsored, man.
Yes, but so this one I use on my Axie Infinity because it's on the Ethereum, Bitcoin, and whatnot. This
Right.
one is for my Luna because
Mhm.
hard wallets do have different coins within them. So
Right.
that's number one. The reason why I'm showing those hard wallets because scammers could be able to do a lot of things. I do believe there are a couple of people that I knew that get scammed through phishing sites.
Mhm.
So number one
Mhm.
that you have to check into is that whenever you join Discord, it's like those Discord that let you give you like a buy signal and whatnot, and people would start to give you links. Never ever click on them. And well, so hard wallets could be able to save you on those things because doesn't really matter if they get your password, as long as they don't
Mhm.
get your seed phrase, they get
Seed
your
phrase,
password,
yeah.
they cannot be able to get because you do have this. They need to have your hard wallet enable for
Mhm.
them to be able to withdraw the funds from that
Right.
account. So
Mhm.
number two is that in terms of seed phrase, as Jay mentioned, never ever do a screenshot on your phone because
Right.
there was someone who actually have a hard wallet, but he actually had a photo of this seed phrase, and it
Yeah.
gets stolen because
Yeah.
whenever someone gets your seed phrase, doesn't matter if they don't have this the
Right.
hardware, they could be able to withdraw it and buy
Yeah.
a new one and put that
Mhm.
seed phrase there. So meaning to
Mhm.
say that's gonna get some void. So
Right.
never ever have a screenshot on your phone because you never know, like for example it's on your cloud that people gets
Mhm.
access into it, and like for
Right.
example you give it to someone, maybe they want to call on your phone, you get a text and they knew
Mhm.
that you were into crypto. I mean, let's not judge people, but that it could happen, right?
Uh-huh.
So whenever they get that and simply had a picture of your seed phrase, and
Mhm.
your funds are gone, right?
Right.
So that's
Right.
something that you wouldn't want to do. Number three probably is that never trust. I would say never trust anyone unless it's really your friend. Like for example, just simply asking. Well, this is like 101 to everything, right? Like if
Mhm.
there's someone who actually asks you your password, you definitely don't give it, or
Right.
probably give you like if you there, there's something. This is a good example, Jay. Uh, for Axie Infinity did get hacked, right?
You're
So
right.
the Ronin bridge. So what happened was people the Axie's prices literally went down because
Mhm.
people cannot be able to buy unless you have a wet the wrath Ethereum inside
Right.
your
Mhm.
Ronin, and you cannot
Mhm.
be able to convert your SLPs, your AXS into wrap Ethereum because the Ronin bridge was hacked. It was
Mhm.
put on hold. So meaning the prices of the wrap Ethereum during the time was actually went like double. So some people did is really I knew a few friends that are really rushing to buy those axes at lower price, and
Uh-huh.
what they did was they buy wrap Ethereum to people on Facebook on pages,
Right.
and what
Mhm.
they did was send money first before they send you their wrap
Ah.
Ethereum. And that was I know
Woohoo!
that I mean that was so basic, but people fall for it. Like, all right, I'm gonna
Yeah.
sell you this wrap Ethereum that you badly need so much, but you need to send me 5,000 first. And unfortunately, a friend of mine did, and he
Yeah.
actually sent the money and asking for the what actually happened was he wants to buy 20,000. So they did
Uh-huh.
small increments. So what happened was
Right.
he gave 5,000. He was given Ethereum on the exact
Yeah.
amount, and now his
Uh-huh.
He already trusts the guy, right?
Right.
Because the
Right.
5,000 the Ethereum was on my also 15,000. I'm gonna be next. I'm gonna triple it,
Oh,
and there
jeez.
his money was gone. It was actually
Right.
blocked, and he can't be able to do anything about it. I mean, does it really matter if they get your bank account because
Uh-huh.
you actually give it, right? I mean,
Yeah,
you
right, right.
didn't steal it. You give it
Mhm.
because you trust that someone, and you
Mhm.
have to be very careful on those things. Unless you knew the person, never
Mhm.
ever
Mhm.
gave your password, your seed phrase, and all.
Right.
And yeah, probably that sums it, Jay.
Yeah, right. That's right. Never give into a deal that you do money first or you
Mhm.
do send your assets first unless you really know them. All right. So the best thing to do here is that if you are going to be transacting with a rando online, rather than doing that, do your transactions within an NFT games marketplace, or for the worst cases that I can picture right now, like what you've mentioned, Rob. If you don't have those said currencies or wrapped Ethereums, for me, all right, it's better to miss on those deal than to get scammed. All right.
Mhm. Definitely, definitely. I mean, what's the worst part of it? You know what, Jay? The following day, the katana went up, so it really, yeah, it really crushed his heart. But
Oh,
like
geez, man. I feel
most of
sorry
us,
for the guy.
yes, yeah, me too. Because I believe
Yeah.
that was he actually withdraw amount for it because he's really wanting to have a new team on Axie. But
Uh-huh.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
charged to experience one again for that fellow, so he knew what to do on the next time he wants to have a deal. But you know what? There's a lot of things, Jay, that we could be able to talk about regarding with security. But number one, I would say once again, you have if you're gonna be investing in crypto, might as well invest on a hard wallet. It's not just an option, but I would say it's a must because this is I would say this is just like an exercise, right? This is not something that
Mhm.
you just simply do right now and get out, because whenever you learn to play around it, that's gonna be life changing for you.
Mhm.
And
That's
for
true.
me, it is because not only the opportunities that comes to me are with the space, but also I learn how to manage. I'm not even thinking like a year ago in terms of my finances. Like I have money in the bank and
Mhm.
not even know what inflation is at this age. Can you imagine that? I don't really know. It's like there's 100,000 on the bank, and I didn't know that 100,000 is, yeah, it in paper it's 100,000, but it
Mhm.
really, the amount that you can buy with that 100,000 is just simply 92,000, because like
Mhm.
8% in terms of, there's a lot of things that we could be able to learn going into the Web3 games. And what
Right.
I really looking forward is that hopefully games gets good over time. I believe that's gonna happen soon. We've seen
Mhm.
games like for example like Illuvium going like team fight tactics. Maybe we could be able to see like Mobile Legends into like a play to earn. And we all knew how big Mobile Legends here in the
Yeah.
Philippines,
Right.
and
Right.
if you could be able to translate that and look to like play to earn, oh
Uh
my,
huh.
like how will people react on it? And hopefully like the company that made ML could be able to do that as well. But yeah, we have so much to talk about. But first of all, thank you so much, Jay, for this wonderful episode that we
Right.
had.
Right.
Yes. And of course, to our viewers, you can catch us
Mhm.
previous episode of our official United Gamers Guild website at unitedgamers.gg. You may also follow our official Facebook page at facebook.com/United Gamers Guild. And we also have a Twitter at UGG Network. And you can also join our official Discord server and become a part of our ever growing community. Of course, thank you so much, Jay Perillo, for being with us. All right, Jay. So, how about you give us where do people can be able to find you right after this episode?
Well, if you want to hit me up, guys, you may always do so through my socials. It's J Perillo official on Facebook and YouTube, and at Perillo J, or on Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, and TikTok. And I would also like to invite everybody to search for J Perillo on Spotify to follow my own podcast. And yep, right. Kanina, I've mentioned that I'm cooking something with a game developer, so hopefully that is something that I will be able to give to you guys soon, and I will definitely hit you up on this one, Rob.
Yes, looking forward. And yeah, what an amazing episode. And I've learned so much, to be honest, Jay.
Right.
And of course, thank you for this episode. And by the way, my name is Rob Luna once again. So you can be able to catch me through YouTube, Facebook. So I'm gonna be streaming on YouTube on the coming months. So you have to look at me there, and as well with Twitter, I'm very active on it. So at Rob
Mhm.
Luna YT. So yeah, again, I'm with this amazing host, Jay Perillo. My name is Rob Luna, and we'll see you soon on the next episode of CrypTalk.